We just had 4 crazy Masters 8 tournament battles, and with the conclusion of Ash vs Steven, the first round of the Masters 8 tournament has finally come to a close. And what's crazy about these 4 battles so far is how wildly different they were received by you, the viewer. Many can agree Leon vs Alon to be the weakest and least enjoyable battle of the 4. On the flip side, Cynthia vs Iris seemed to be the most well received, and it got me thinking, what was the difference between these 2 battles? Was it the pacing, the narrative impact on the characters, the animation, or maybe was it the technical quality behind the battle? Well, I think all of these factors could have played a role in why Leon vs Alon was super controversial and why Cynthia vs Iris was the most satisfying to watch. But really, I think it's more simple than that. And actually, I have 2 words to describe why a battle like Cynthia vs Iris is way more enjoyable than Alon vs Leon. And when I think about it, I think these 2 words describe Pokémon Journeys as a whole, and why despite being the most ambitious iteration of the Pokémon anime, with character returns and continuity, it has been a mixed bag in terms of enjoyment. And before I reveal these 2 words to characterize all of Pokémon Journeys, please keep in mind this video comes from a longtime fan of the Pokémon anime. I've been watching since the airing of the Advanced Generation and would like to say I've watched most episodes, so my perspective could be similar or different than yours. So with that in mind, let's proceed with the video. Alright, here's how I would describe Pokémon Journeys in 2 words. Missed opportunities. Let's talk about how this applies to the Masters 8 tournament and later expand its application to Journeys as a whole. The reason why I believe Alon vs Leon was the least enjoyable fight, especially as a longtime fan, is because I remembered the rivalry between Ash and Alon and how strong Alon was in the Kalos League. And because I remember who Alon was in X and Y, seeing him being utterly destroyed by Leon is a bit frustrating as a fan of Alon's, and also because I would have loved for Ash to get closure on finally getting a win against Alon. To add, I would have loved Ash's Greninja getting the opportunity to return for a battle one last time against Alon in the Masters tournament. And you can argue that saga and rivalry is no longer relevant, and I agree, but as a longtime fan, I would have loved to see it regardless, and this seems like a missed opportunity, which was a huge factor in why I really didn't enjoy Alon's return in Pokémon Journeys. On the flip side, Cynthia vs Iris was amazing because the writers capitalized on some opportunities. They referenced Iris's training with Axew against Cynthia and how far Iris has come since Ash's travels in the Unova region. As a longtime fan, I felt very rewarded, and I loved the continuity represented in this battle. Seriously, I loved how Journeys used past events to impact the future of these beloved characters in this fight. And to briefly touch on the other 2 Masters 8 battles, Lance vs Diantha was alright. There wasn't much history between the 2 champions, so there wasn't really many opportunities that could be missed, hence you will generally see positive reception of that battle. On the other hand, Ash vs Steven was generally mixed. As a longtime fan, I am still frustrated Ash didn't have a more meaningful matchup in the first round. Also, the fact that they used Pikachu's Z move now rather than saving it for Leon? Yes, I know Ash using Pikachu's Z move against Leon is still possible, but you can't deny it's definitely less likely because Ash has 2 other gimmicks. Therefore, I think it is or will be a missed opportunity if Ash were to not use the Z move against Leon because of it already being used against Steven. Like, it would be a great callback to Sun and Moon against Tapu Koko, and Pikachu is Ash's best friend for all these years. For this being Ash's biggest tournament thus far, it's only logical for Pikachu to be the one to help Ash win it all. And this brings me to describing Pokémon Journeys as missed opportunities as a whole. With Journeys being the most ambitious anime project ever, a longtime fan like me is going to have very high expectations. In the 20 years of the Pokemon anime before Journeys, there was almost never any continuity, and character returns were very formulaic or rare in general. But now Journeys has brought in that continuity we were craving. For example, we now have most of Ash's companions returning in a single iteration, and Ash is going toe-to-toe with champion level trainers like never before. As a longtime fan who has waited nearly 15 years for this moment all my life, yeah, I'm gonna have high expectations. Also, with Journeys advertising the anime to be continuous, I'm going to expect Journeys to bring up past events with these character returns and use these events meaningfully. But when I think about Journeys now, after watching over 100 episodes, it's that Journeys is just a bag of missed opportunities. To name one off the top of my head, when Serena returned, they conveniently used plot to minimize Ash and Serena's interactions in episode 105. Like if you watched X and Y, you are very familiar with how meaningful Ash was to Serena as a role model and as someone that propelled her to grow as a character. Journeys shows how much she's grown and even shows Serena using a phrase that she learned from Ash to help Chloe grow. But we don't get that satisfaction of Ash recognizing his impact on Serena. Also, they totally didn't acknowledge the fact that they kissed, like bruh. Another missed opportunity is having Ash's old Pokemon not return. And I would argue this is the biggest missed opportunity, especially as a longtime fan. Like we can all agree to be a champion level trainer like Cynthia or Leon is no easy feat, and Ash has never even come close before with his old Pokemon in over 1,000 episodes. To see his newer Pokemon like Dracovish and Surfetch'd to be on this grand stage is almost jarring. If Ash's Infernape and Greninja couldn't do it, how can we expect Ash's Dracovish and Surfetch'd to be able to do it either? And yes, Ash has gotten stronger over the years, so his training has probably gotten more effective to make this possible for his Journeys team. I'm not disagreeing with Ash's Journeys team being this strong. I just think it would be more logical, well, maybe just more satisfying to see Ash's old Pokemon, specifically his previous aces like Infernape, Sceptile, Snorlax, just to name a few, competing at a high level like the Masters 8 tournament. In other words, it's a missed opportunity from a longtime fan's perspective. And you can argue that the Pokemon anime has always been used to market the new generation and new Pokemon, which is why Ash is always changing up his team for every subsequent generation. But looking at his Journeys team, Pikachu, Dragonite, and Gengar are all from his debut generation. Lucario is from Generation 4, leaving Dracovish and Surfetch'd to be the only Pokemon from Generation 8. So if you ask me, they could have totally forgone marketing Generation 8 and brought back Ash's ace Pokemon. Remember, this is from the perspective of a longtime fan. But okay, before I close this video, I ask of you, please tell me what you think of Journeys. It doesn't have to be in 2 words, but I want to hear your thoughts, whether you are a longtime fan like me or new to the Pokemon Journeys anime. I feel like having a different background will greatly impact how you view Pokemon Journeys as a whole. But anyways, regardless of me describing Journeys to be full of missed opportunities, it's still pretty badass to see Ash making his way to being the #1 trainer in the world. Thanks for watching.